So my first 3 priorities were well hidden, well defended, and big. So, well, because I don't want to have a shitty little lair. Like, you want to have, like, I don't want to have a fucking bat cave where it's like, oh, this is really cool, but it's just like me and this weird boy and a butler.
This was not a concern for me, clearly.
Yeah. So I ended up I started with a floating fortress on the ocean, which I also liked was that one, the open ocean is actually still quite well hidden. Like, if you're like moving, like, even like with currents, I don't think you're gonna get found by like even satellites and stuff aren't gonna see you. Like, the ocean's fucking huge.
The ocean's a big place.
Even if your base is really big, you're not big compared to the ocean, because as we revisit in the show a lot, the ocean's really, really big.
Right.
They'll see you in like satellites though, right?
Well, it's like if you're looking and you get lucky and happen to look at that exact spot of the ocean.
I mean, if you just make the top of your base blue, I think you're pretty good most of the time.
Yeah, all your roofs have to be blue.
Yeah, and blue's going to be pretty much the color of my thing, because I wanted to go, like, classic supervillain. So my secret floating base is going to be shark-shaped. So it's going to be a giant shark.
Awesome.
And the shark actually has a lot of good things going for it shape-wise. First off, the mouth is perfect for, like, a port and dock for boats and, like, seaplanes, etc., etc. The fins are going to be where you land your jets and your planes and all your actual, like, real aircraft. The tail is the perfect shape to put a missile silo and launch missiles out at like 30 degrees, because it's going to be a pretty good chute that you can just build into there. And the dorsal fin, that's going to be your central evil tower going up. So what are we looking at with since I'm talking about the dorsal fin tower, my throne room, my villain chamber is what's it going to look like? Really what got stuck in my head was basically the one from Austin Powers with where he has the submarine that's Dr. Evil.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's got the big room. There's a shark pit in the middle, like a shark tank in the middle.
With laser beams attached to their heads.
With laser beams attached to their heads. So I decided to forego the laser beams. I think what it's going to be almost the same room. It's going to be a room all the way to the tippity top. Because where else are you going to be? It's going to be pretty cool, because the whole ceiling is going to be like a curved glass piece, because that's like the top of the fin. And the back part that's vertical, I'm going to have be a waterfall.
Ooh. It's going to be luxurious.
So you walk in from the elevator or whatever, and there's just like this shark pit, and behind that, like my like evil throne, and behind me just like a massive waterfall. And so what happens when I got, the hero of the day coming in? So he's going to come, and of course he's going to be like, oh, I'm just going to stay away from this shark pit. But the shark pit is just a decoy. So my plan to get rid of intruders is I'm going to want the floor of the place to tilt away from the throne. And when it does that, the back of the floor is going to hit the waterfall. And then the waterfall is going to flow on the floor across the room. And the windows on the other side are going to open up. It's going to flush anybody out of that room.
Sneaky waterfall.
And then where I ended up a little bit like Ben, I decided the prominent feature of my throne was going to be a big control panel, where in emergencies, I'm going to have 3 big red buttons. And the first one's going to say dive with 1 exclamation point. And that's going to be dive with 2 exclamation points. And the third one's going to say dive with 3 exclamation points. And so I imagine that, like, there'll be that moment where I'm like, dive! And then, like, my other hand hits the second dive. And then the camera pans to the third dive. And an unexplained third hand hits the third dive. And then it pans, and then my base descends into the ocean. The other thing, too, is that I'm a supervillain. I got this awesome ocean base. What am I doing? What's my goal? Like, why am I here? And I think, and it kind of goes with the theme of our show, was there's a lot of cool animals in the ocean, and I think I'm going to have this marine biology lab where I'm going to be making super soldiers out of all the different animal powers that we've come across. So you're going to start off, and this is going to be the one that you inject with yourself, too, because you want to get that immortal jellyfish and its complete regeneration powers going.
It's your favorite animal.
It really is, because it's just buck wild to me that this thing exists. So just a quick recap, it's a jellyfish that when it is either injured or would starve to death, reverts back into like an earlier form and like goes back to stem cells and then just kind of regrows. So it never actually dies.
So it just like gets younger.
Yeah, it has regenerating cells basically.
Yeah.
So you do that to your minions, they're going to be pretty invincible. Like to most mundane means of killing them for good. Get the mantis shrimp, the best punching shrimp that, can create fucking vacuum implosions underneath the water by punching so fast.
Mm-hmm.
gotta have a shark head. Like,
You know how that turned out for me.
It's good for biting. And I think the anti-cancer properties are going to help prevent all these extra mutations you're putting in from going like buck wild. Because I imagine this mechanisms that stop cells from multiplying out of control is also going to stop like your mantis shrimp cells from getting into your jellyfish cells and into your peanut butter cells and then making a whole mess of a sandwich.
Right.
And then just to top off the, just to get the super minion going, shark head, mantis shrimp punching, obviously just overall immortal jellyfish body. Electric eel, just electric him up. Octopus, get him the smart octopus brain. And camouflage.
Yeah, both of my answer 1 things are in there.
I know, I was very happy to hear them. And then I think one small point that you're going to concede, I'm not sure how much sea creature you are. If you have to use the lungfish to give them lungs, you can do that. I'm not sure at what point you're more fish than human.
Right.
But try to hold on to the human lungs, but if you can't, you can throw a lungfish in there, and that's the one you kind of just like put in like the back closet at like the back of the tail that you don't really tell anybody about. Like when you're doing your grand display of your dark powers, it's just like, don't look and just don't go in the supply closet. It's just lungfish in there just lungfish all the way down. And so you now basically have a super powered henchman villainry. And I think you're just going to be the best pirate because you can just now go to any shore, anyone you want, because you can travel. So go to an unsuspecting shore, take over the coast. And the plan is 1, set up, get your genetic mutations going. Step 2, take the sea hostage. Step 3, take over the world.
What's the process from step 2 to step 3?
I don't understand your question, Chris. Once you have the sea hostage, you can just take over the world.
Okay.
Like that's about as detailed as a supervillain plans get. And that was my living on the wild side.
So if you were in an existing piece of fiction right now, you'd probably be an Aquaman, and Aquaman would probably kill you.
I think I would just be the next Austin Powers movie that was too lazy to come up with another plot. I actually had a moment when I was very scared that I accidentally recreated the villain LAIR from that movie. It's when I think I'm imagining all these cool things, like I was just actually remembering the movie. Because I remember the shark pit, and that was like kind of like my inspiration for like the theme of it. And then I was very scared for a minute that it was actually just a giant shark and that his plan might have been the same. But his plan was like a moon laser and his ship was a version of himself. So
you're good.
That's why his plan didn't work.
You're in the clear.
And why mine will.